hey, Nathaniel Hackett, whatever you're doing, you need to take it and rip it up and throw it out and start over. Literally start over. Whatever your PowerPoint presentation to the then owners or to George Payton, the general manager, whatever you presented about what you're going to do for this team on offense, take it, throw it out. Whatever you did maybe in the first quarter of last night's game where Russ was cooking, riding, Broncos Nation was riding, 10-0 lead, keep some of that. And I know you might say, well, part of it is what you just told me to throw out. I got it. Throw everything else out then. Because whatever you're doing, it ain't working. What you're doing defensively is working, but the Broncos are right now at 2-4, despite allowing 16.5 points per game. If you are allowing 16.5 points per game in the National Football League, and you have a quarterback who, prior to joining your team, was a damn near perennial Pro Bowler who made the playoffs almost every year, and not only made the playoffs almost every year, appeared in the division round almost every year because he either got a bye or he won in a wild card game, because that's what Russell Wilson did in Seattle. If you have somebody like Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy to throw the football to, and you're allowing 16.5 points per game, and you're only winning 1/3 of your games, something is up and wrong.
The math ain't mathin'.
They've allowed 10 or fewer points in their 2 wins, and in their 4 losses, allowed 17 to Seattle. The outlier is 32 to Vegas, 12 points to Indianapolis, and last night, 19 to the Los Angeles Chargers, who won the game with a one-legged kicker. And
insert joke here.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm lying. Okay?
He couldn't even warm up. Like, that's
Honestly,
usually the great shot. Like, kicker warming up on the sideline.
I've never seen more points scored by some. The last time I saw more points scored by somebody staggering was in college, walking out of the Brown Jug on the campus of the University of Michigan. One of my fraternity brothers staggering around and scoring. I mean, this is what's happening to the Denver Broncos right now. And it is not acceptable. And everybody who's pointing out, well, the offensive line is banged up, absolutely. And people are pointing at Russell Wilson, and even Troy Aikman's pointing out that he's not seeing the field. And I will not be part of the crew that thinks Russell Wilson is washed. You can't. He's just not feeling it. And part of the reason why he's not feeling it might be whatever is going on between his temples, because he's not used to being criticized in the manner in which he's being criticized so widely. It might be part of him seeing ghosts up front. It might be him being completely uncomfortable, the offense. It can be his inability to see the field, but it could also be part of it, whatever deficiencies he may have that got covered up in Seattle. I don't know. But I saw last night him stepping up in the pocket and finding his wide open rookie tight end for a touchdown. I see him moving around. When he's moving around, it's so much better for him. And then I don't know what happens with the coach play calling when the game's on the line. Is he pulling a rock? I don't know, because I cannot imagine he went into an organization that's had Vic Fangio attached to the hip of Joe Flacco and Drew Lock for all this time, for all that time before. And part of his PowerPoint was like, when the game's on the line, we're going to run it twice, and then we're going to throw a 50-50 ball. And if I was in charge, I'd be like, we've been doing that around here quite a bit. Like, what are you going to do? Last night, Latavius Murray in overtime, 2 runs. And he got him to 3rd and 1. They threw it. Incomplete pass. Next time, they got it back because the defense was balling out.
Yep.
2 runs, 3rd and long. 50-50 ball to Jerry Jeudy. And then you got it back. And then, of course, the muffed punt that kind of wasn't their receiver's.
It wasn't really his fault.
Because he had his own guy pushed into him.
Yeah.
Ball game, out comes Dustin Hopkins staggering around and splitting uprights. Which, by the way, Chargers fans are like... That's not usually what's supposed to happen with us. We're supposed to have no kicker and then lose the game.
Right,
We'll get to the Chargers in a second. I'm not done yet with the Broncos. Whatever they're doing offensively, get it out of here. And at some point, I know people are like, fire Hackett. It's just 6 games. You're 2-4. And the teams in front of you are 2 games in front of you, yes. 2.5 in front of you because you've already lost now to the Chargers. But season's not over. But whatever's going on with Hackett, I mean, the play calling in overtime and whatever they were doing second, third, fourth quarter, it was just so difficult to watch. And here's the ultimate on it is I don't know how these things happen. Anybody who had, and this includes me, raising my hand, Javonte Williams, you have him in fantasy, okay? You were watching him split snaps with Melvin Gordon and Mike Boone. And this kid is one of their most electric playmakers they had coming into the season, right? Now he's out for the year, as we all know. But he's splitting carries like Mike Boone. You're like, this guy who could only see the field in Minnesota is if everybody in front of him got hurt. He's getting some meaningful third down snaps. This kid's off the field. Melvin Gordon's fumbling it all over the place. They still give him shots. And then suddenly Melvin Gordon gets, as soon as Williams is gone, benched. Latavius Murray was running the ball well, and I think he's going to run the ball very well, and he knows the AFC West very well. I mean, he first burst onto the scene on a Thursday night against Kansas City for the then Oakland Raiders. He knows the division. But all of a sudden, Melvin Gordon is just benched, and you don't even tell him what's up. He's standing there, and he's going against his former team, and you're not even going to bottle that and use that and roll him downhill against his former team? So you take Russ off the field for your kicker for a 64-yard field goal against his former team in his former team's house. You don't let Russ cook there, and now Melvin's back in Los Angeles against the Chargers, and you're just benching him? And he says after the game, nobody told me why?
That's ridiculous.
I mean, what's up? Who's making these decisions? Jerry Jeudy's like barking at the field, talking to Melvin Gordon. I have no idea what he's talking about, but he doesn't look happy.
He's probably like, you should be out here.
So whatever that's been done, take it, throw it the hell out, burn it, and never acknowledge its existence and start again. Because you know what? You're going against the Jet team next week at home, and they are coming. They are coming with young kids who feel great about themselves, the exact opposite of the Broncos team I saw last night.